Hello, my name is Wakata, and welcome back to Pixel Perfect, episode 59. Yeah, we are continuing our project of the Perturb motors. You might even call it a saga. And yeah, I hesitate to use that term because it sounds like it's an ongoing thing. It's not, though it is a multi-episodic project, and the reason for it is because, well, we are in the end game, right? And the late game projects take a lot to do, but also, we're spreading it over a number of episodes because there's been a lot of reinforcing of our supply lines and building out new supporting industries, even if it's a thing that we've made in the past, because we want to make sure that we can make as many as are reasonable of this product without completely wiping out some of our supply lines. And that's just kind of what it means to play this game, especially to play the late game. And yeah, sure, if you watch some of the YouTubers, a lot of times you might see them do their ultra mega projects to where they just have a giant building somewhere where they put in 1,000 per minute of everything, and when they get to this late game, maybe they don't need to go back and do, supporting projects because they've already wildly overblown everything else. But that's not what we do here, and that's not the goal to this series, right? The goal to this series is to, play the same as the everyman, to show how everything can be in reach, and that these things that can feel too complex, overwhelming, really can be broken down into small projects, and that's the joy of the game. It's not the destination, it's the journey. But that is part of today's journey. We have already done basically all of the supply line stuff, all the groundwork, all the rail has been run, all the logistics have been designed, we have the math worked out. All we needed to do now is execute. Execute, execute.
Execute! Execute! Execute!
But we're getting ahead of ourselves just a little bit because, well, we've been doing a lot of work on live streams, and what we've accomplished on the most recent live stream is really important for informing where we're at. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over what we did last weekend on the live stream and bring everyone up to speed, because we're about ready to start building and begin placing down the actual machines. So let's get going, and I'll meet you over at the station. All right, here we are back at our station. Now, most of what we're going to go over is going to be stuff that we already did on the live stream. In fact, we have some pre-recorded clips that we're going to play because, I needed to do the recordings while we were building those things so that I could show you the stuff. I mean, that is, of course, assuming that you didn't see the live stream, which is, of course, on this channel. So, feel free to go back and check it out because it was a lot of fun and it's pretty cool. But something we didn't address on the live stream, something I don't think we even talked about, is that one of our trains that we're going to be doing for this project is going to require us to export some product from home. And, that was always the design of this place, right? There's our massive warehouse. It's right next to a set of stations. We have import and output windows, and it was always meant to be able to bring products in and send things out because we do have our little manufacturing district right there. And, well, time has come to where we need to utilize that because the fused modular frames and the radio controlled units are things that we need for production on site. And, well, that's an issue because the way we have designed the new area, and you'll see it when, later on here in this episode, the stations there are not as long as we have at other locations. In fact, they are set to have a maximum of 3 train parts, 3 freight cars or fluid cars, and that means that we can only use the first 3 on a given station here at home. And unfortunately, as you can see, the first ones are in use, and the first ones are in use. Yeah, so that's a problem because we cannot reuse any of these stations for the upcoming project. That means we need a new station. And, we can and may extend this further over, right? We do have some rocks here that we can use for support. The front end would be floating a bit, just like this power line here, which apparently the terrain has changed at some point because we built that on something. I don't think that was actually meant to be a permanent thing. Maybe it was. Okay. Oh yeah, it's going down to the geothermal. But anyway, one of my concerns about putting a new station on the end is that our new downward spiral was meant to line up with this thing. I don't think that would be too big of an issue, right? We can always merge it like this, right? We can split around here probably. We can probably make that angle. It's not something I've tried. But if we can't, maybe we can offset the new station and put it back like one, let's say like right here. And so it would come out and have more room to wiggle. But we do like to have things that are equally matched. So we'll mess with it, but that's probably what we're going to have to do. There's always the possibility of maybe putting a station, along here somewhere. Not in zoop mode. Come on, stay in the sky, stay in the sky. So we could potentially put one here, right? Because the lines do come in this way that, maybe we could take another, go here, like that, and maybe we could put it into another station. I don't know. That's future me. That's future me, and I'm going to think about it, and we will address it on live stream. But this is just, it's another piece in the puzzle that we have to solve. But be sure to check out the live stream if you want to see that decision being made and watch us actually work out that solution in real time. But I think we've spent enough time here. Let's move on to our first stage of the project, which will be to acquire a water source for our upcoming project. So I will meet you guys there. All right, so here we are at the nitrogen area. And we've been goofing around a little bit here because we made a decision that we wanted to go with packaged water as part of the turbo motor facility production. And we needed a place to actually water. And this is where I decided I wanted, because we're only going to use 2 tractors worth of water. That's it. We don't need like a big lake or anything like that. We're just the one little pond. However, we can't piggyback on an existing train station because we need the front 2 platforms. As such, we are actually going to place them here. And as you can see, I am out of computer. Okay, that's great. Just great. Now, we'll go later because we're not at the point to where we actually need the materials. Platforms. There we go. Placeholder. For the material type. And this isn't going to hurt anything, right? We're going to have 2 trains coming through here picking up nitrogen, but they're picking up way more nitrogen than they need. So any kind of congestion through here isn't going to be a problem. I'll deal with those trees later. So if say if we're picking up water here and a nitrogen train comes along and gets stuck waiting behind it, the delay is not going to hurt anything. We're okay with that. But what we're going to do real quick like here is we're going to put 2 extractors out here. Probably a tiny little platform. I think we only need 3 of the packagers. As you can see on the right, we have a list of stuff that we need. Because this is actually, we're doing this on live. We're doing it on the live stream. So if you missed the live stream, then you fell on this. But that's the list of stuff that we need for the project. I'll go through. All right, so I'm going to get to getting the pumps out here in the water somewhere, wherever it is that we can fit them. And we're just going to use these temporarily for a snap too. They're not deep enough, so I'm going to have to lower the platforms into the water a little bit more. Okay, we now have a basis. One, we'll go vertical, down.
I strongly advise you to
Couple.
harvest this specimen.
Time to make sure we don't get.
Comply.
There we go, and we can kind of snap to. And so I'm gonna have to play around with this because the station's really close to this side. So we might need to move it back a little bit. Nope, we won't. Perfect, look at that. Excellent. So I'm gonna connect these up, run some pipes out of them, get a couple of packagers, 3 packagers up, and go get some computers so that we could actually build the actual stations here that they'll go through. But now at least this is connected, which will allow the trains to pass through, and that's all we need. And you know, we've got this open spot here. It's just to give it a little bit of breathing room, but also, this is our train coming back, buddy. Also, if something were to change in the future and we needed, you know, one more lot here, we could always delete this little line and put a freight platform here. Station for something else, in addition to what we're already going to use. So that's it. Yeah, let me get this done, and let's see what's next. All right, here we are. We're done. That wasn't too complicated, right? I love the way all the conveyors are kind of over and undering and a little racetrack to me for some reason. I don't know why. Why does this look like a racetrack to me? Kind of does. Anyway, everything's lined up nicely, and we get all painted. And maybe I should paint that. No, I don't know. But we're set up for packaged water now, and my math was off a little bit. It was on but off, so we need, it's 60 per minute here for the packing, 120 per minute for the unpacking. So there'll only be 2 at the turbo facility, but 4 here. But we still had planned on 6. For some reason I thought it was 3, and then it was 3 and 3, so it was still 6. Anyway, we have the conveyors for the empty stuff to come in, the empty cancers? Yeah, that's what they are. And it's all mathed out on the belt speed. And those will come in, and then the water and mix around, and then they will come out and remerge, go back to the station. So all we need to do is power these, and nothing's going to actually happen right now other than these are going to fill up with water because we don't have the empty containers yet to fill them up, which is fine. We don't need them yet. But now we don't have to come back here. All we have to do is drop off the empty containers in our future station at the work site, and they'll come here, and eventually, after a couple of cycles, this will start churning out a bunch of packaged water. But we have our station in place because we did go back and get computers, and I have to cut that down. I'll come back and cut that down later. Poor nitrogen train is waiting for us to leave. Okay, well, we're going to head on to what is next. Probably the actual facility. Anyway, we're on live stream, so I'm going to continue talking to the live folks, and we'll pick back up where we pick back up. All right, I'll see you at the next site. Okay, a bit of an update time here. We've been busy on live stream, and we've established basically all the stuff we need to do before being here. Earlier we set up the water intake. Those trains are all ready. We have set up an on-site manufacturing for basic stuff, concrete and iron plate and iron rods, which anytime you're doing a big project is a great thing to do. Just hit a local limestone node, local iron node, and just make those 3 objects, because you're gonna run out of them. You're doing walls and floors and stuff like that, and they're the little things that will add up. So having a little trickle feed coming in is great. Even if you do like I do with having a personalized train that brings resources with you, when you're doing a big build like this, it's just better to have this is small things, and then you just delete them when you're done and clean up and walk away. But we can't see them from up there because they're way up in the mist. What I wanted to show you is, if you saw last episode, we established these train stations, and it was kind of a tentative thing. As are we going to really use these or not? It's because we needed to determine what the size of our buildings were going to be, the floors are going to be like, and so we weren't sure whether or not this was going to be the final idea. Ignore the temporary train here. And we also kind of left ourselves a little cliffhanger problem here with the exit coming out, which was a problem that we were aware of. We didn't have a solution. We knew that we could come up with a solution, but we didn't have one yet. And it was just kind of the, problem for future me. That if we were going to go with this was going to be a problem because we couldn't do a U-turn and come back up in this tight of a space. This is only like 3 blocks, 2.5 blocks. We need a 6-block gap to do that kind of U-turn. And we knew that worst case scenario, we could run it all the way down and just do some weird turnaround. Because it's not like we don't have the space. And then meet up with it. But we also could manipulate to some degree where this is coming down at, or maybe have it do a little dido over. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We've decided here, we're doing this on live in case you missed the live stream. Check the channel. It's still there, the VOD. But we decided we like where the station is. And that we don't have to determine what the size of the floors is going to be to commit to this. And the reason is because if the buildings, floors become smaller than this footprint, that's fine. It's fine if we have a larger footprint on the bottom and have it kind of go in a little bit as we go up. That's fine. If we find that the floors need to be larger than this, that's not a big deal, right? There's room here. That is not, even if we had to go past the rail line, they'll come in under the building, come in. So we don't have to worry about the size. It's not an issue. We know these are centered where we want to be. Good enough. So with that commitment, we have gone through and connected all of the stations. I can stop falling out of the sky every time I'm around these. And so that's nice and clean and super easy. And you can see they're all turning in just nice. And I think that what we're going to do tentatively is for the exit, instead of merging all of these down here and doing a U-turn, we're going to merge them going back this way. Or actually these, thinking about this live, these can come out straight. Why I didn't think about it. See, this is why I'm talking it out with you guys, because this makes stuff make sense. So these can go out straight and merge with the line. And then we're going to have a wraparound line that these other ones will, instead of turning left, they'll turn right. They'll turn right and they will go here, turn and skirt the outside of the building. And now, middle line, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be their line. And they'll just cross this path, so we'll have, some pathing stuff. And then they'll parallel. And we could merge them with this line, but if we do that, then there's more of a problem potentially with them getting stuck. Delayed, not stuck, but delayed, either trying to exit because we don't want them to stop for time that we don't have to, or they can stop things that are coming in. Now they are going to have to cross the line. I mean, they don't have to, right? We could slope this down and then turn and come back up, which we might do. But for today, we're not going to. Today, we're just going to draw the line now and be happy with it. So I think I'm going to do a 4 turn. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to bring you on so you you can see the mental process that we're going through as we bring all this together. Or I might go with a 3-turn. The reason that I'm fretting a little bit about this is because this is going to make for a really weird intersection. See that? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because we're going to want to have signal right here. That's just ugly. I mean, it makes a cute little pattern here. I don't think that's optimal. Let's see what we can get away with a 3-turn. Why are we falling out of the sky? This is a powered rail. Oh. Woo. Okay, our jetpack is broken. Okay, somehow we've lost power coming down this rail. That's bad. I'm confident that our entire station didn't just shut down. There we go. Weird bug. Okay. I'm genuinely surprised we didn't just die there. Because, you know, if I'd gone over the edge, then that we're like 8 meters above the void. We are right there on the edge. And by the time I realized what was happening, it would have been too late to switch to the jetpack. That would have been all she wrote. It's gonna be a little bit ugly. We don't want this to connect. Don't jump to it. There we go. Yeah, that's better. That works. Okay with this. Because we can pathing signal that, blocking signal there. Excellent. So these guys are set to exit. We'll need to draw another line coming around the building. To be consistent with the other side of the building, we'll do 2 out. Not because we need to, but symmetry. And I'm just going to build the line around it. You don't need to see me. You've seen me draw enough lines already now, so you know how this works. But this is going to be it for all of our train stations. So, problem solved. Let me get this done, and we can look into some decisions we've made or are going to make in regards to flooring and machinery and the size, so we can actually start getting some walls up and some height. Actually put floors down, above this floor. As you can see, we've also come up with the decision that we want to do some kind of glass outer walk, outer inner walk, right? So it'll be inside, but not, But we want to be able to look down and see the void below, and it kind of feels safe walking over it. I'm a big fan of I know that there are glass bridges places around the world that go over ridiculously high chasms, and I get the biggest kick out of watching YouTube videos of people panicking and crawling on their belly across what is a glass bridge. And I understand. I have phobias, I fear heights is not one of them. Like I love heights so much that I would go and jump up and down like a little kid on a bed on those glass bridges and just love looking down into the abyss uh, while people around who are afraid of heights are clinging for their lives, thinking that I'm going to break through it. Anyway, enough ramble. let's let's wrap this segment here, and I'll bring you guys back in when I have something to show you. Okay, just another quick update. We've been back and forth so much on this. We're just, I mean, all the rail lines are run, and there was talk of needing to figure out what the size of the floors were going to be by mapping out, all the machines and getting totals, and then it just there's a nightmare worth of stuff that needed to be resolved in order to determine the size that the floors were going to be. And we put it off. We're on stream, and I was like, you know what, we don't have time to do that on stream. I'll just kind of do it between episodes because I knew it was going to be something that was going to take a long time, and I didn't want to commit to it. Starting a new thing because the streams run long. I admit it. And I didn't want to do it, but I said, well, the thing we can do is we can at least establish the height at the first floor because the first floor is going to be a transfer floor, and we'll go over that later. But it was something that I figured we could just do that real quick and then it'd be done. But one thing led to another as we started to map it out, and we did a lot of shenanigans with half width floors so that we could do glass in between so we could see in between the stations, and then we had to do that with the stations, and then it wasn't balanced because then we'd have to do a half one over here and it wouldn't work. You know what? If you want to see the decision-making process, go check out the stream. Real late in the stream, it's probably around the 5-hour mark. So we're not gonna go over that. The end product is that the floor size worked itself out because we were working out the aesthetic of how we want the floors to look rather than how they function. And so there will be 2 buildings, and they will have roughly, if not completely, identical floor layouts. So they won't necessarily match on height, and that's something else we'll go over later. But this, I really wanted to have the aesthetic of looking down into the void, and just through progression of one thing or another, and we ended up with this. And a lot of precarious floating over the void, hoping that power doesn't run out, because you can see these need to be fixed. Like, they're off-centered. You see that? This used to be a half block and a half block, and then we realized that we were half blocking so much that we could just rerun the entire floor pushed over by half a block. And so G to filter are dismantled. Now we don't have to worry about hitting anything we don't want to hit. And I'm, especially because I'm not really looking completely at what I'm targeting, I'm paranoid staring at the little swirling signal on the left showing that I still have power and that I'm not going to suddenly fall into the void. You can see I had half blocks. Those are all gone. And that's perfect. It's going to work out great. It's going to work out great. And I wanted to show you just this is what we came up with. And I think it's going to be beautiful. I'm very happy with it. And it's going to just look great. It's going to look great when it's done. There's, oh, no, don't. There's still a lot to do here to get them all in place. But we have the final design. Well, I say final, that's dangerous. We have the currently final design that we're going to go with. It's going to give us the aesthetic that we want. And I'm looking. So simple as this. The reason I wanted to bring you back in is I wanted to show you the precarious, dangerous thing that we were doing on stream. Over the void, looking down. We are very close to death, and just straying out of range, just the smallest bit, would be the end of us, because I probably would not switch to jetpack fast enough to not plummet my death. Fall fast, and we are very close to the beginning of the void. Let's see, just like that. There. Glass. This is going to be so cool. And it's going to be real neat to what it's going to mean for the floors and the layout of the machine. Because I don't want to obstruct this view. So that means that our machines will be isolated on the solid parts, and we'll have walkthroughs here. Now we might have some conveyor overlapping. We'll try to avoid it, but we might. But I think it's going to be neat, and who knows how visible it's going to be once we have several floors. But, you know, it's something. It's why build in the void if you don't take advantage of the void itself, right? That's kind of the logic here. And I don't think that we're going to put glass along this. I don't know. Probably not. We'll probably just leave it void. But we'll see. You know, it's a little bit more interesting if we're standing here looking down over the emptiness. But there would be walls up here. So I wanted you to see the dangerous shenanigans that we were doing on the stream. You know, before you see the finished product. See, there's a half slab that we were using to offset everything, and then we just realized we offset the whole. But anyway, we're real close to starting to do floors. And I'll have to look at how much time we have on the recording for this episode. We might be able to get started. We'll see. We'll see. We'll have to look in the editor. And if not, then maybe next episode, maybe next stream, because this project's not done. And we're streaming it until we're finished. I assume there's going to be at least one more stream. But we'll see. Let me get back to work, and I'll come back with you when I know what we're going to do for next thing, or whether or not we're wrapping it up. All right, so I know we're running a little bit tight on time, but I wanted to stop by real quick here out at the Space Elevator Manufacturing District, you might call it, the Christmas District as well, and let's park real fast. Come on, don't be shy. Get in there. Get in there. All right, good. Turn it off. Because we have most likely all of the stuff ready to turn in for the, what was it, the active director system, something like that, assembly director system. Okay, we need 4,000 of these, and ideally we'll have 4,000 in here. So 2,400 plus 1,596, that's going to be 2,396, and there'll be, you know, 4 right here, right? Yes, perfect, excellent. Okay, so this is done. This is a fully finished product. Now, there is a lot of transportation and stuff we need to do for the next item. We're not going to do that today. We don't have time for it. But before we wrap up, I do want to set this stuff up to head back. So let's just do a temporary belt here. We'll that's going to be Mark 1 at the moment. We'll come back and speed things up. We just want to get this drawn out. Go around the corner here. I'm going to delete this belt once it's done, so I'm not going to worry about, you know, it being pretty and stuff. Because we do have a specialized train that is just the, what is it, the Space Elevator Express or something like that. And we're going to use it to transport this stuff back home. And we need to use this station right here. Real quick, like before we do that, looks like there is a car here. When it's full of quick wire. Why is it full of quick wire? What? Okay. Unload. And let's grab a big old container here. Empty this beauty out real quick like. And then we're going to load up all the other stuff. Give me a second. All the director systems are loading up into the freight platform. Now, we know that we have more than the platform can hold, but that's fine, you know, because we can do more than one trip. So we're just going to set this up. We're going to edit. We're going to go to home right. And we're going to make sure that it's just unloading the director system. Not doing anything else. There we go. And that's pretty important because we have fluid cars on the front of this. And the reason we have them there was to generically block this train from ever unloading somewhere else or loading anything from anywhere else without us having to constantly put in restrictions at all the locations that we might send it temporarily. But by chance, where it's going to go now, there happen to be fluid stations. So we needed to set it to not unload anything. But that's all we need to do for this. We're going to let it run on its own. In fact, we're just going to write it. And when we're back at home, we can call our home train and it can just come back and join us. And somewhere over here we had a lift. Nope. There we go. Conveyor line. This is going to be a temporary conveyor line. And you might recognize this location. This was our original early game manufacturing for the space elevator. Just, you know, a couple of assemblers. It's just temporary things, changing back and forth. But it ran straight to the space elevator all the way up there. So what I've done is I've just, plugged in a little conveyor to the side of it, and it will follow the final product line all the way up to the space elevator. So that's going to just take care of itself. Not in any hurry because we're not doing anything else with the line right now. But I'm going to head back to the house. Woo! I ran right into that train. And this will be ready for us probably on the live stream. And, if on live stream we have time, I would like to start moving product over to the space elevator for the next item. Not even sure what that is. But again, we will take care of that very soon, but not today. So I'm going to head back into the house. We're going to wrap this up and call it an episode. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. It's still a little framey. Yeah, ever since the update, it's just it's been that way right in this area. It's kind of unfortunate. But that's going to be it for today. We are so close on turbo motors, really on the live stream, should be coming out on Saturday. Live stream should be the next day on Sunday. So if you're watching this the day it came out, consider joining us for the live stream where we can actually start putting down machines and working on the buildings for turbo motors. It's going to be a very busy stream because we need to figure out what machines are going to be on what floors, start to work out the logistics of what belts are going to need to go where pipes are going to need to go, where we're going to pack and unpack everything, how the layout's going to be for the machines, and of course start working on the aesthetics of how the walls are going to come together and everything else is going to go with trying to bring that product to fruition. So we have a lot to do on the live stream, and I hope to see you guys there. But if you have enjoyed this, please be sure to leave a like. It lets YouTube know that we're doing something right here. We had a great response on the previous episode, which made me very happy to see. I'm glad to see people coming back and seeing that people seem to really enjoy not just seeing the final product, but seeing all the processes going into the underbelly of getting things to work. But feel free to leave a comment. I love to hear from you guys, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But if you make it to the live stream, I will see you there, and if not, we'll see you in the next episode. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, you may want to check out one of these other videos, and thank you very much for your time.